Lazarus Laughed. Eugene Gladstone O'Neill was an American playwright who won the 1936 Nobel Prize in Literature for the power, honesty and deep-felt emotions of his dramatic works, which embody an original concept of tragedy. His plays involve characters who inhabit the fringes of society, engaging in depraved behavior, where they struggle to maintain their hopes and aspirations but ultimately slide into disillusionment and despair. Outline of the play. Lazarus Laughed is a play by Eugene O'Neill written in 1925. Its subtitle was A Play for Imaginative Theatre. It is a long theo-philosophical meditation with more than 100 actors making up a masked chorus. In theatrical format, Lazarus Laughed appears to be a Greek tragedy, but the underlying message is similar to the mystery plays from the Middle Ages. The story features characters and events following the raising of Lazarus of Bethany from the dead by Jesus. As Lazarus is the first man to return from the realm of the dead, the crowd reacts intently to his words. Over and over again he declares to them that there is no death, only God's eternal laughter. The more Lazarus laughs, the younger and stronger he becomes. The more he laughs, the older and weaker his wife Miriam, who trusts him but does not understand his laughter, becomes. The subsequent scenes portray a series of tests, perhaps similar to those trials of Job, by the Jews, Romans and Greeks to try the faith of Lazarus. Consequently, members of his family are taken from him. But Lazarus continues always to laugh, even as Miriam is poisoned by the Roman Emperor Tiberius. And continuing on to the very end, when Tiberius burns him at the stake. Analysis of the play. Written in 1925, Lazarus Laughed follows the resurrection of Lazarus and the subsequent effect this has on the rest of his life and the lives of those around him. As Lazarus is the first person to return from the realm of the dead, the response from the crowd slowly evolves from disbelief to adoration. Although Lazarus has been miraculously resurrected, the fact that Jesus, the Nazarene, is calling himself Lord is causing extreme dissension. As the crowd huddles around Lazarus to hear what being dead for 3 days was like, they observe the curious fact that he is laughing. Over and over again he declares there is no death, only God's laughter, and the crowd begins to intently listen to his words, hailing him as Dionysus, the savior and conqueror of death. By the second act, Lazarus is rumored to be a god, a deity of laughter, and he is rumored to heal the sick by his laughter. He has also begun to get noticeably younger. Caligula's response to the adoration of the crowd is to say that man is basically the same everywhere, willing to worship any new charlatan. There are also whispers throughout that Lazarus has discovered immortality, and Caligula, hoping to become the next Caesar, disdainfully hopes this is not true, saying, "You lie. Whatever you are, I say there must be death. You have murdered my only friend, Lazarus. Death would have become my slave when I am Caesar. He would have been my jester and made me laugh at fear." Lazarus responds by telling him to be his own jester and that men call life death and fear it. They hide from it in horror. Their lives are spent in hiding. Their fear becomes their living. Slowly as time passes, the story becomes that Lazarus raised himself from the dead, assisted by his pawn Jesus. As Lazarus continues to grow younger, his wife Miriam grows older, aging quickly and becoming more cast down. She is a figure of a sad, resigned mother of the dead. In Act 3, Lazarus and Miriam are presented to Caesar, who is immediately murdered by Caligula. Without taking more than a nanosecond to mourn, the mistress of Caesar, Pompeia, makes a play for Lazarus, who is now shimmering with youth and vitality. Caligula assures Pompeia that Lazarus will remain faithful to his wife, and Pompeia quickly crafts a malicious plan to get rid of Miriam and increase her odds. She picks up on the boredom of the crowd and suggests they demand another miracle of Lazarus. She convinces the new Caesar, Tiberius, to poison Miriam and test Lazarus' ability to bring back another from the dead. As Miriam takes the poisoned peach, Lazarus raises his hand as if to stop her, and the crowd wildly jeers. He is afraid of death. Miriam eats the peach and slowly, like a wilting flower, becomes weaker and more confused until she lies still. As Lazarus bends over to kiss her, he quietly weeps, for a moment being shaken in his anti-death stance. And then in one last spontaneous spasm, Miriam laughs and tells Lazarus that he is right, there is no death, only laughter, and then she breathes her final breath. Act 4 opens with Tiberius post-rationalizing what various life experiences have caused him to become a lecherous old man. Caligula, growing tired of the never-ending monologue, kills him and finally has claimed Caesarhood for himself. Crying, do not take pain away from us. It is our only truth. Without pain there is nothing. Caesar demands them Lazarus be burned at the stake to prove once and for all that there really is death, and while Lazarus is burnt alive he laughs, spitting out the hope of God is eternal laughter. At the last second, Pompeia, who is now completely infatuated with Lazarus, throws herself into the flames. End of the analysis. Thank you.